Let's get live. Let's get live. Let's get live, man. See where we at. Why is there music playing? Hold on. Why is there music? I did not intend for music to be playing. Where's? Oh, that's what the. Okay. 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 All right, we should be good though. All right, cool. Hit the like button, hit the share button. I'm gonna try to go live for an hour while I determine what to do with my channel, man. I'm like in this. Actually, I'm just in a sort of a busy time, right? You know, things are ramping up at work, and my video game consumption right now is low. Playing Star Wars Shattered Space. We're going to talk about that. Not producing as much videos or anything like that. And the only thing I've really been doing consistently is Play Xbox Podcast, Weapon Wheel Patreon. Subscribe to that. That's weekly. And of course, Weapon Wheel Podcast, which is Sundays. But I haven't been treating this channel the way it needs to be treated, contemplated, creating a new channel just exclusively for streams, which would influence me to stream more, or just do this, or just does this channel become the everywhere channel? Shout out to Darren James, Aaron Johnson. We're gonna talk about we're gonna talk about all this. The switching and all that stuff, because I think there's a lot of like clownery going on, because it's stupid, honestly. So, you know, Uva Shuda says, as someone who has finally switched over to PS5 from Xbox, what exclusive do you recommend? That's the wrong question for me. I don't even play PlayStation 5. I have a PS5. I only typically play their exclusives. But they have a vast scope of exclusives. I just don't like them all. My favorite PlayStation games in this current era, when I say current era, I include PS4, because the PS5 is just an extension of what the PS4 was. So Spider-Man, Horizon, The Last of Us. Some people like the Ghost of Tsushima. I didn't quite care for it. I tried to get into Death Stranding, didn't quite care for it. God of War, it's pretty good. Though I think the second one is fairly boring. Same thing with Horizon. I like Horizon Zero Dawn more than I like Horizon Forbidden West, which I might have more of a reason to pick up Zero Dawn, the remake. I do that one because I actually enjoyed that more than Forbidden West. I actually still have to force myself to finish Forbidden West. But who knows? Maybe I'll do that with the pending PS5 Pro. But yeah, I have no real recommendations. I'm not a core PlayStation fan. It's a nice console to have. I don't do my primary gaming on it. And I haven't turned on. There's so much dust on my PlayStation. I haven't turned it on in a while. I think the last time I turned it on was to, I think, what was there? What did I need to try? I did Helldivers on PC. What did I play this year? I think the last time I turned on my PlayStation was to play the Stellar Blade demo. I didn't even buy the game. Thought the demo was cool, but I never got around to actually buying the game. Actually, so there's that. Tracy Got Game says, I've been replaying Arkham games this generation. It's so trash on both sides. It's better if you include the PS4 like you do. Absolutely. Let me tweet out this stream because we are live. I am the last Xbot left. The last Xbot left. People think I'm a flip flopper because I typically criticize Xbox marketing and their in their because I criticize their marketing and their multi-platform strategy, which I still think is trash, but still pretty much and a fan of the brand and the platform and the games. So let's I should have brewed some coffee. I need to brew some coffee. You guys give me a minute so I can brew some coffee. Hit the like button, hit the share button, tell everybody I'm here. I'm gonna play some music right quick so I can brew some coffee, okay? Let me brew some coffee. I apologize. I need to brew some coffee. All right, now that that is brewing, let's get into some of the topics today, man. Let's get into some of the topics, yo. So, what do you guys think of the Halo Infinite going third person? We're gonna watch that trailer right quick. I think I honestly, I'm not mad at it. People are kind of hating on it for some reason. But the thing is, Halo Infinite has always had like a third person element. It just wasn't a fully realized one. They go third person when you're in vehicle combat. It typically goes third person when you're I think when you use certain weapons like super heavy weapons. They're and I don't mind it. And the thing is, the thing I hate about let me go. I'm gonna just play this right here and bring us to the other screen, loud in my ears. I don't know if you guys can hear that. So the thing I can't stand about like when people criticize Halo, they be like, oh, it's either doesn't change enough or it changed too much. They poke fun that it's quote unquote dying. And when a developer or a game tries to evolve and change things to get people involved or bring more people in, it also gets criticized. It's like, okay, so what do you want? You know what I mean? They've been supporting the game. You know what I mean? People keep saying the game is like dead, but people, still find ways to play it. They support it with maps, content updates, modes, skins, and now they're gonna do this third-person mode to bring in the Fortnite crowd, and I'm not mad at it. Doesn't bother me at all, because at the end of the day, how I look at it, at the end of the day, if it's not a good mode, I don't have to utilize the third person mode, but I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? I think it's a well needed addition to the franchise, to the game, and I'm looking forward. So this update's supposed to go live in November. Halo's never been being uninstalled on my Xbox. It remains installed. Halo's the one franchise I can jump in at any point, and I don't have to relearn anything. I don't have to remember anything. It just works. It's fun, and I always have a good freaking time. Now, I would say, obviously with Call of Duty coming out at the end of November, I think they should give this a no. Call of Duty comes out at the end of this month. They should probably, they could have either should have released this earlier, or they probably should give them at least a good 30-day gap between that and Call of Duty. I think people go hard on Call of Duty. Even though it's always going to be one of the top plays, but I think the bulk of majority of the people go hard on it within the first 30 days of its release. You know what I mean? Some people decide that they move on from Call of Duty after that, literally those first couple weeks, you know what I mean, while it's the newness. And I think that's what happened to a lot of games, and the people that carry it, the remainder are just what they typically play. He said very loud, so I know you're deaf. I don't know. One Major Ryan says Halo. Hold on, make sure. Yeah. It's. I thought I was going to read the wrong one. One Major Ryan says, "Why do you still play Xbox? Have you honest faith in Xbox?" I don't have faith in platforms or brands anymore. I'm just at a point. I think I'm at a point in life where I'm just stubborn. I'm not. I don't. There's not. I mean, I don't. There's nothing I'm looking forward to that's going to change my behavior, my consumption. Right? Like, there's nothing like. It's not like more so faith. It's just that I'm kind of set. You know what I mean? I'm set in what I want. I'm not expecting, anything more out of gaming. I'm not expecting more out of like consoles and stuff. If I see something cool, I will adapt. I'll get it. Like right now, I'm working on upgrading my PC. I still don't game heavily on PC, but I do. There's some games where, like for example, Avowed, if they do not have a performance mode patch by the time of release, I do want to have my PC prepared, because I am really looking forward to Avowed. I do want to have my PC prepared where I can play that at decent settings, but most importantly, be able to play it at 60 FPS. So, but as far as like Xbox, I mean, I'm satisfied with my Xbox, like my current Xbox, and the games that I'm playing, the games that I'm interested in, the games that I consume. I'm satisfied. You know what I mean? So there's no like about faith or anything like that. There's games that are coming out in the future. Obviously, Perfect Dark, Fable. I'm interested in. I already have a platform that's going to play those. Platforms, whether it be Xbox, whether it be PC. So I play a lot of Xbox games, but I also play a lot of just, regular games that typically come to Xbox in general. So there's nothing anyone or any platform can do, with the exception of just Xbox not existing, that can just say, hey, I'm no longer going to indulge or consume my Xbox. I'm just only going to play on PlayStation. That's just like a consumer behavior thing. Like, there's nothing that's going to happen or that's taking place with these consoles that's going to change the way I consume games. So it has nothing to do with faith. It's all strictly preference and content. I'm content with my gaming. And at this point, right now, at this point, I'm not doing as much gaming as I was before. And I'm to the point where I'm doing like maybe one game at a time. And at most, if I'm either doing one game and then maybe a multiplayer sort of thing that I can indulge in between. But right now, I'm not playing a whole bunch of like games, and I'm also not buying games at the capacity that I used to, because primarily because I'm not playing at the same capacity. So there's nothing taking place or going on in the console space or the gaming space that would make me, change where I'm playing or how I'm playing games. Let's see. I think my coffee is ready. So I'm going to turn this music down again. I'm going to turn it down so you guys don't freaking freak out. And then I'm going to go grab it, and I'll be right back. All right. So, all right, let's go, man. All right, let's get into it, right? So, again, I think the third person update is going to do good for Halo. I don't know how many people are going to join, but I think it's a good update. I know there's unreasonable people online with their unnecessary criticism of the game, and because people just want to see anything associated with Xbox fail. That's just what it is. For some reason, even it doesn't matter. It's just strange. Even when we're in a day where PlayStation is completely dominating Xbox like always. It's the de facto. You got all the fanboys gone, and people still have this hunger or thirst for Xbox to fail for some reason. I don't know what it is, but that's what people want, and I don't think they'll satisfied until Xbox will cease to exist. It's like there's still online personalities that are, I don't know if you realize the podcasting, the content creation scope regarding video games associated with Xbox it's so one-sided now, and so it's so boring, because all the personalities, you know what I mean, they all have been fake, but it's so boring because everyone is they've they've given up. So the thing is, what people don't realize, the beauty with the content creators, I always thought that Xbox content creators were more intriguing than PlayStation fanboys content creation. Like I feel like Xbox content creators had the better quality, the better takes. There was always something to talk about. There was always a perspective, whether it was hopes and dreams, but there was always something that draw to. When you go to PlayStation content creators, they're relatively boring, and if they're not talking strictly PlayStation, they're usually going at Xbox, and they become pseudo Xbox content creators. It's just that it's anti-Xbox content creators. So now when you got more people are on the anti-Xbox content creation and PlayStation, it's just like, it's very boring. So I can't watch half these people. I have to unsubscribe from a lot of people because their interests, change. So, but before we get into the next thing, I do want to say, we got to say a prayer for Ubisoft, because I don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you guys right now, a lot of people underappreciate Ubisoft. A lot of people have been, with all the talking points. This is why I'm so happy I'm not a sheep, man. With all the talking points, with people online, I told you negativity breeds more negativity. It's like, people forget that Ubisoft is probably one of the more productive gaming publishers that we have. I say that because Ubisoft typically, again, when it comes to producing, they put out at least 4 to 5 games on annual basis. I know people criticize how big the staff is. Yes, they have a big staff, but they also produce more games on average than any other publisher. I think the only other publisher that produces it's on par with Ubisoft in terms of production of games is EA, because EA has sports license and they have to put out a sports game for every sport, on annual basis. So that's pretty much, I think Activision is almost just as big as all these other publishers, but all that work goes into Call of Duty every year. So, I appreciate Ubisoft. I do not want them to be bought out, and don't want them to be bought off by Tencent. People forget the stuff that between Assassin's Creed, the Far Cries, even some of the Watch Dogs, the Ghost Recons, even the other the tier games that they grab a hold of, such as the Avatars, the Star Wars Outlaws, which is getting a lot of hate. It's actually a fun game. And looking forward to the updates. I beat that game, and I'll be willing to play it again. Matter of fact, I'm actually going for the after I finish Starfield, I'm gonna go for the 100% completion, and then go back to by that time that happens, I think Call of Duty should be getting ready to come out, because I'm looking forward to that as well. But Ubisoft is getting a bad rap. Don't want them to be bought out, and if they get bought out, I don't want it to be Tencent. Yes, I would, I would be happy if Xbox bought them out. but they can't because Activision caused too much noise. And people shouldn't be mad at Xbox buying out publishers or studios anymore, because Xbox is literally a third-party company. It's literally a third-party company with a console, and everybody hates them. So people hate their games until they come on PlayStation or be optimized for PS5, and then they can, they'll they weaponize the games. That's what's going to happen. But Ubisoft, I think if Ubisoft was to merge with someone, I think other publishers that can diversify their portfolio with the Ubisoft, I think, you stay away from people like Tencent, you stay away from people like Embracer. You would have to, I would say they would, I think, an EA or Take-Two, or freaking, there's another publisher merger, I think that can work. Man, there's a couple, or Xbox, honestly, but just like Remedy, I think Take-Two, Take-Two should acquire Remedy. That is a match made in heaven. They made some of their prominent IPs like Max Payne and all that other stuff. They're working on the Max Payne remasters and remakes or whatever. It just fits. I think it works. Because the thing is, Remedy needs a publisher with a big bag to support the content that they're making. But we need Ubisoft to survive again, because Ubisoft, again, is a very productive publisher. They're one of the only few publishers that makes AAA games that aren't a licensed game, that isn't a sports game on a consistent basis, and you can expect for them to release minimum 3 games, but they're typically hit you about 4 or 5 a year. And they're not, bangers. They're not all like, game of the year worthy, and they don't need to be. Not every game. I mean, there's hundreds of games that come out every year. Not all of them needs to be game of the year worthy. They just need to be, decent. And I think, personally, in my opinion, I think gamers, or today's gamers, I don't even classify today's gamers as gamers. A lot of them are just content creators, talking heads, online pundits with an opinion. They need something to attach to, because they can't attach to politics because it's too toxic. It's too easy to get canceled. They can't attach themselves to pop culture because there's nothing there. It's like pop, like artists and actors and all that stuff. They all podcasting and creating platforms on platforms that these guys need to get big off. So they're attaching themselves to video games, and what they're doing is they're creating this lane that, to me, in my opinion, is destroying the hobby, that's having a negative impact on the industry, and it's making the industry almost insecure. I said this in Planet Xbox. I said this in Weapon Wheel. I believe Assassin's Creed Shadows was only delayed for PR purposes and not for any sort of technical difficulty that the game is going through. It was only delayed for PR purposes, and that's unacceptable. I don't rock with some of these cheeseheads, these dudes that are online talking their mess and pushing their I hate gaming agenda, because they think every game is, being ran by DEI and Sweet Baby Inc. Now, those things do deserve their criticism, because, I feel like these incentives, these initiatives that were placed on games, and I can see where the initiative hit. It does help with them, trying to diversify characters. I don't mind seeing, personally, I don't mind seeing people of color in games. Obviously, I'm a black man, so if I see a black character in the game, I'm not going to be. It wouldn't bother me. I'm a consumer. I'm a gamer. I purchase games. I rent games. I subscribe to games. If there's more black people in games, that's not going to bother me. You know what I mean? I'm not the biggest thing of representation. The only thing that drives me nuts is when things don't really make sense. Like things that are forced into story. Like I will say, like, there was things in Star Wars that was forced in that made no sense with the universe. There's things that were forced into other games that made no sense. But like, there's a place. I understand. There's like, the diversity. Never make diversity a goal or a quota. Don't do that, because that will ruin your games. It can't be forced. I think some of these things need to be natural. You know what I mean? It has to be a part of an idea. It can't be, agenda or inclusion driven. It has to be natural, native. Like, you know what I mean? For example, if I'm thinking of a movie or thinking of a game that I wanted to create, and let's say I had this ability, you know what I mean, and I had an idea of a character, that's where it's supposed to come from. You know what I mean? I can't, you don't create all this stuff and then last minute, this person has to be black, or this person has to be like, this person has to be like gay, or like it can't. That has to come from the ground up. Like, hey, I want to create a game about this black sword wielding hero, like in this type of universe, and this is background. I'm gonna blend in this background and this, and see how it plays and see what we come up with. Like, if it comes out that way, it's natural. For example, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is Grand Theft. It was the hood. That's natural. That's not inclusion. That was just like, hey, we've done like the New York shit, the mob shit. We did the mob stuff with like Vice City. We did like the New York like trash shit with the GTA 3. And that we've never indulged in like really the core of urban hip hop, like true culture. That's why Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is appreciated. Some people say it's like, it's ignorant and whatnot, and it's improper representation. But no, that game needed to happen. It's the first of its kind. Needed to happen. So, but I think what happens is now every video game that's premiered, that's revealed, that either has a person of color or a female lead or anything that there is it gets criticized based off what is shown and not what the game is or what the game's going to be about. And then people, straight go to say DEI or street babying, and the game sort of gets canceled because social media is dangerous. Virality is dangerous. And again, that's why I said, it was crucial. The Xbox lost the generation at the wrong time, right as like when PS4 and Xbox One came out, and like everyone was essentially online and the social media was kicking off. That was the wrong time to lose, because I personally think social media dictates who succeeds and who doesn't. You know what I mean? It's just like that with movies. It's just like that with music. It's like that with a lot of things. But shout out to Jay Barry with the $20 super chat. He says, "Come on home, Smooth, dude." There's no. I'm home. I'm home. I am home for sure. Again, to remind you guys, hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's talk about PS5 Pro and what it's doing I think the PS5 Pro. First, I'll say this: I'm not mad at mid-gen refreshes. They're cool. If you can do it, do it. If you can afford it, go ahead and do it. I'm not mad at it. I think it's cool, but in my opinion, I think we're at a point where we're getting closer to diminishing returns, and with things being more expensive. The only, and I said this on Twitter, the only way I will secure a PlayStation 5 Pro, personally, I don't need one because I barely touch my PS5, and like I haven't justified a reason to buy one because I'm not consuming games on PlayStation, and I would literally have to start like buying games to like. For what at this point on the platform. But only way I secure a PlayStation is if I have enough stuff to trade in to literally pay off the console. I think I do, unless GameStop continues to devalue some of the stuff that I have. Like I have two PS5s. I don't need them, but one's a physical version, one's a digital. I'll probably just give the digital to my son, trade in the physical, buy the PS5 Pro with the original PS5. I got a Switch that we barely play. Trade that in. Got Xbox Elite controller. Trade that in. I got some extra DualSense somewhere. Trade that in. Some physical based games. Trade that. And I think I got enough content. As long as I can get that. The PS5, where my out-of-pocket expense is next to nothing, and when I say next to nothing, I'm talking about $60 and under. You know what I mean? Then it's justifiable, and I'll have no problem doing it. I will buy it for sure, absolutely. You know what I mean? But that's not something like I'm not like. Otherwise, if I didn't have anything to trade in to support the cost, I wouldn't do it because I think $700 is just too much for a console, and of course, like 2 years from now, I might be eating my words because that might be the regular price for consoles because this thing exists at $700. So, I mean, Xbox can't make a console in a couple of years and sell it for less, especially if it's going to be more powerful. And then also them working on a handheld that has to contend or compete with like the Rogue Ally and Steam Deck, and none of those are less than $500. So that alone has to be the price of an Xbox Series X, and then their console probably has to be $100 or $200 more than that. So you know what I mean? Shout out to PlayStation for conditioning us for paying over $600 for a console, but I'm not ready to do that now on a PS5. And the difference in the games, I'm not saying that there's no difference in the game, but the thing is, some of these differences are extremely negligible. I feel like the PSSS are a thing that they got going on. Their upscaler does look good, and I think it's going to be a good solution. I just wish that they could have deployed this a way to extend the life of the PlayStation 5 on a PS5, because you have a upscaler that's better than FSR. I know this software that same stuff is going to go to PC. I know it is. It trust me, it will be an update available for PC, and it probably will be an option for PlayStation games that go to PC. But the PSSR is going to be an upscaler available for PC. Mark my words, I do believe that's going to be the case. And if that's the case, I do feel like this is something they could have backloaded into PlayStation 5. This is also, I believe PSSR is also AMD based. So this is probably a solution that's associated with FSR4. Who knows? Xbox might be capable of running FSR4, which means they could have, the same capabilities. Not sure if this is going to be hardware based or a software based solution. Who knows? But PS5 Pro, the reason why I bought this up, because I'm already seeing people, accepting mediocrity in game performance. And the thing is, like, Silent Hill just came out. Shout out to Bloober Team for making a decent game. Now, I don't really give Bloober Team super slander. I appreciated the Medium. I thought Medium was great. All you guys who are hyping up, Silent Hill, hated on the Medium because it was an Xbox timed exclusive at first. But Medium was a great game. If you haven't played it, check it out. It was I had a really good time with that game, and I was hoping to try to get my hands on Silent Hill. I'm actually interested in Silent Hill, but because I'm not getting I don't have a review code, I'm not going to buy the crap now. I'll wait till it go on sale, or I'll buy it for the PS5 Pro, or I will buy it for the PC. I'm in the middle of doing an upgrade to my PC, so if anybody's interested, hit me up on X. I have a 3070 Ti for sale, as well as actually my whole damn PC is going to be for sale. The only thing is that it'll be the case if you want it. It'll be the motherboard, CPU, and 3070 Ti, and probably all the RAM that I have. I think I have 32 gigs. Because I found a case and I'm getting a super steep discount on a 4070. So I just gotta finalize the CPU, but I'm looking to do that literally within a week. So if anybody's interested in building a PC and you want to start somewhere, you need a GPU, I do have some of the major components available. And I don't really rip people off. I've sold GPUs before. I've sold GPUs before, and I typically sell stuff like underpriced, but 3070 Ti if you're interested. Um, the the PS5 Pro again with the Silent Hill. It's like I see people like accepting the fact that Silent Hill 2 remake currently it's a poor performer on the PlayStation 5, right? It quality mode performs under 30 FPS, performance mode performs well under 60 FPS. But all people are saying is that, well, great candidate for PS5 Pro. Great candidate for, so nobody wants developers to optimize anymore, right? Like nobody wants developers to optimize anymore. You're just like, you know what? I'm just going to fork out the $700 so that I can hopefully get a lock 60 FPS because the PS5 Pro is just more powerful. It'll brute force. It'll just boost it. This is the worst part about these consoles becoming closer to PCs is because on PCs, they don't really have to optimize. You're just relying on your power of the rig that you have to just do what it do and just mix and match and hopefully until you get the right balance. You know, if you have the patience for that on PC, the thing is, this is why I'm not a PC. I don't have the patience for that. And that's what makes the PS5 Pro more appealing. But that's what made the PS5 and the Xbox Series X appealing. Remember, when I was so happy about the Xbox Series X, it was that, dude, FPS boosts or the games that had unlocked frame rate and whatnot, they're going to run, higher or better on the Series X. And most of it, for the most part, was true. But it's like now we're really in the middle of the PS5 and Series X generation. And this is where games should be more optimal. They should be more performant. And they're getting worse. And it's like, you guys are letting them off the hook because there's a more powerful version of the console you got coming. So you're no longer like holding developers accountable for optimizing performance, for optimizing the game. Like the PS5 and the Series X, they're 4 years old. They're not that old. And for us console users, the hardware that is in the PlayStation and the Xbox Series X are relatively new, and they're 10 times better than what was in our Xbox Ones and our PS4s. And we're still, if you think about it, when you think about the games that we're getting, the way they look, the way they perform, how they're produced, they're still in the same realm of the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. So if, when we talking about like the CPU base and RDNA and all this other stuff, it's like these games should really be hitting like on another gear, another tier, to the point it should be at a point we haven't seen before. Right now, I don't think I've seen a game outside of Hellblade 2. Outside of Hellblade 2, I'm trying to think if there's another game that doesn't look like it couldn't be ran or done on the previous gen. When you look at Red Dead Redemption 2 on the Xbox One X, that was very pleasant on the eyes. When you look at, even when you look at regular, like Spider-Man 2018, God of War 2018, Horizon Zero Dawn, for those games, like they were very pleasant on the eyes. And that's why when they got their PS5 updates, you could say that's good enough. You literally could say that's good enough because you got those visuals, because those visuals at the time were really good at 60 FPS. So, but yeah, those are. But the thing is that with developers, I no longer get excited for developers. Like, yeah, we're gonna be supporting this, we're gonna be supporting that, right? Because now all these games are gonna be running with these, ugly, unoptimized, unlocked frame rates. And the excuse is, well, playing on PS5 Pro is going to be you're going to get a better performance, right? And the thing that's unfair is like when people were like shitting on Xbox, right? People, what they would do is they would say, they'll look at the Xbox Series S version of the game and they'll say, this is what majority of Xbox gamers are going to get. Because they would bash the Series S version, ignore that the Series X version exists, which is a far superior, far better performant version of games. And they'll say most Xbox players are going to be playing this. They do that all the time. So now they're going, when they go to the PlayStation 5, they're talking about, oh, how great the PS5 version game, but then going to ignore that majority of the people playing this game is playing it on a base PlayStation 5 and it's going to be unoptimized. Like, I just need people to keep the same energy, but I think with the existence of the PS5 Pro, with the existence of the PS5 and Xbox Series X early in this day, all it did was it conditioned gamers to accept optimizing, less optimizing. It conditioned us to accept mediocrity and performance, and this is what happens when the goalpost freaking moves. Shout out to Jay Barry again. He's Jay Barry, man. All this money, you could have just bought me a PS5 Pro, 30th anniversary edition. Is it 30 years or 25 years? 30 years. Jay Barry says, "Are you getting the PS5 Pro smooth? The people want to know, brother." As I said, I will only secure PlayStation 5 Pro. I think GameStop pre-orders go live in 5 days, a week from now. I'm going to bring in a PlayStation 5 physical, a DualSense controller, an Xbox Elite controller, a Nintendo Switch, and some physical games that hold value because they're licensed games. If that nets me anywhere from $650 to $730, I will gladly trade all that stuff in, reserve the PS5 Pro, no issue. If you're asking me, will I pay $700 out of my pocket right now for a PlayStation 5? Absolutely not. It wasn't even on my radar. It only became on my radar because I see there's a path to acquisition of a PS5 Pro. Because there's a clear path for acquisition of the PS5 Pro, it's now a feasible option. I have no issue doing that. No issue. So chances are I have a 75% chance of acquiring a PlayStation 5 Pro day one. And if I don't, I'm sure Jay Barry has an extra or two on deck. I will find ways to acquire it from you. Bless Red, what's up, man? How you doing? So I'm thinking about creating a new podcast, right, called Last of the Xbots, because there's no more Xbots left. There's not many left. I was watching a clip of a podcast that featured, let me see if I can find this clip, dude. I got to be able to find this clip. I have to be able to find this clip, dude. Come on, bro. How do I see the stuff that I liked? Replies. Okay, there we go. There we go. The Last of the Xbox. There we go. I'm gonna put this shit on screen right quick. If there's any, let me know if there's more Xbox left. Yep. So this podcast, you have Crap Gamer, D-Batch. I believe he's it was an Xbot. Mooch, obviously, he started as an Xbot, and the Mag is pretty much was known as an Xbox. I think he's on XNC podcast with Colt. So these guys were on the Mooch podcast, which the Mooch, shout out to them, the Mooch, but the Mooch podcast literally is a pretty much a platform for anti-Xbox propaganda. Am I saying that right? So pretty much that's what they do every week. They get on the podcast and they talk about the same thing. And the same thing is how everyone hated Xbox, how Xbox is bad. It's the same thing to the point where, I guess it's just soothing for some people. But everybody in that podcast, once upon a time, were avid Xbox fanboys. So much, you got people like, for example, everybody in that podcast, you could probably pull up a timestamp from summer 2017. You could find all of them doing what they're doing for the PS5 Pro to the Xbox One X, like, you know, yeah, it's a beast, it's a monster, it's more powerful, doing all their stupid graphs of how the comparison to the PS4 Pro or whatever, and what PC you can close compare it to. They were doing this for the Xbox One X. Fast forward 3 years later, they were doing this with Project Scorpio. No, Project Scorpio was the Xbox One X, but what was Series X? Oh my God, Lockhart and what? Lockhart was the Series S. What was the Series X name? Damn, I forgot. I really forgot the Series X. Scarlet, Project Scarlet, right? And then when it was finally revealed and whatnot, you know, people would compare it to what PCs and how much is better to the 12 teraflops and stuff like that. These same guys are now avid PS5 Pro defenders. Avid PS5 Pro defender. Now, it is a great recipe of a lot of things, because even when the PS4 Pro came along, because people forget the PS4 Pro came along before the Xbox One was able to deliver a Xbox One X. I think though Xbox I think announced their One X as Project Scorpio, I think well in advance, I think in 2016 or so. So I think their announcement came first, but the PS4 Pro released first. And I think people didn't, you know, jump over to PS4 Pro, the Xbots, because they knew the Xbox Scorpio would be more powerful and whatnot, which is, you know, fair enough. That's fine. But it's, it shows that, like, it's very dense. So the console war, what it does, or at least on social media, it really it keeps men as kids. That's where the childness, the immaturity comes in. I mean, these are, you know, I mean, I have no right to judge, you know, what people do. I'm not mad at people, you know, deciding that they're playing on PlayStation 5 or anything. Like, I don't care where anybody plays. One of my best friends in the gaming space. No, my best friend in the gaming space, my actual best friend in gaming is Gaming Addict, Laura Addict. We knew each other for a while now, but one of my good friends that, and you'd be people surprised, me and Dre are also really good friends, and Dre was, you know, straight PlayStation. And then now, I think now he's like almost nearly straight PC. Like, stuff like that don't bother me where they play. It's this public announcement, right? And people like, you know, I'm you know what I mean? And then this public presentation that people are doing is like, I don't like that hard flip. The hard flip meaning like, okay, I'm going to go online, I'm going to be a content creator, I'm going to, you know, as an Xbot, I'm going to talk about how great Xbox is, and I'm going to shit on PlayStation fans, all this stuff. I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to do a hard flip. And then I'm going to talk about how great the PS5 Pro is. And while doing that, I'm going to shit on Xbox like this, that, there. It's like, I think that irritates me. I don't know why it bothers me, but it irritates me when stuff like that occurs, because it's like, dude, just be you. Why you got to be a clown? Why you got to be like corny? Just be you, man. Nobody gives a fuck what you like. You know, personally, that's like, it's like, dude, it's like doing, and people comparing to the PS5 Pro to the Series X. This is real insecurity, right? This is real insecurity, because the thing is right, to my knowledge, the Xbox Series X came out in 2020, like a week before the PlayStation 5, right? There is no successor to the Xbox Series X right now. There's no mid-gen console for it. So why are you comparing? If the Series X and PS5 was neck and neck, right? Why are you now want to compare the PS5 Pro to the PS5 Pro is in the class by itself, as it should be, because it came out 4 years later and it cost $200 more. You know what I mean? And like, they're, you know, I commend them for doing that, but like, why dick ride so hard? Why dick ride so hard? why dick ride so hard? And the thing is that, right, these guys, I feel like it's also an insecurity thing, right? When people start riding hard for console powers, that some of these guys claim to be tech experts. They claim to be, PC dudes, right? I've never seen a PC dude ride so hard for a console. PC, like dedicated PC enthusiasts, right? Their rig it's supersedes any existing console and probably exceeds the next generation console at this point, give or take some sort of software based solutions that they're doing for platform wise, right? So the thing is, it's like, okay, well, what is your purpose? What are you trying to do? Like, so I understand like how like the community and fan base get upset at certain individuals for these hard flips. You know what I mean? For these hard flips. Now everybody has a right, to play and like what they want. You know what I mean? So like, for example, like I said, if I were truly, nothing's stopping me from getting a PS5 Pro outside of the price tag. So that's why I'm literally relying on like trade-ins. But the thing is that why do your whole online persona needs to change? All that tells me is that you are a fake individual. You are a character. You're like, nothing you say can really be trusted. You are a character. There's like that's all it is. That's all it is. And like people again make fun of me or used to make fun of me or say I'm like emotional, I'm emotionally tied. I'm not as emotionally tied to any of these platforms as you think, because when you consider all of my peers and my contemporaries, am I saying that right? They're the ones doing the flipping and personality changes. I'm not. Like, you know what I mean? People used to get, like, when they see me or they hear me talk, people get upset at me, like, those there's some select Xbox people, they get really mad at me because, like, I'll go out and I'll start complaining about Xbox lack of marketing, which shout out to Microsoft. They clearly improved this marketing because this freaking idiot, let me put this out here. They clearly improved their marketing because this idiot, their Xbox's marketing is so good. Am I muted? Please don't be. All right, cool. Xbox marketing is so good that Mighty Keith says Atlas is terrible at marketing. They should have never let Xbox have the rights to advertising. JRPGs do not sell well over there. Still got people telling me they thought Metaphor was an Xbox exclusive. Get this game when it comes out. Man, it's fire. So I don't understand. That doesn't make Atlas terrible at marketing. One, they're not marketing the game. They're being paid by Microsoft, and Microsoft is marketing the game. They're doing that job for them. Xbox is doing that job for them. So clearly they're not terrible. They're geniuses because they got the bag. They got the bag. And the number one complainer of Xbox and their marketing efforts and their advertising, I say Xbox sucks at marketing all the time. I send shots at Xbox marketing attempts and efforts all the time. But apparently their marketing is good enough for Metaphor to make these dudes believe that it's an Xbox exclusive. Job well done. Good job, Xbox. Your marketing was so good that people believe a game from Atlas and Sega is an Xbox exclusive. Xbox marketing wasn't this good for its own Hellblade 2. So shout out to them. So they did their job. So maybe they're revving up their marketing, but like I don't have a problem with that. They're gonna that's what you're supposed to do with marketing rights. You know what I mean? Be aggressive. But even though Xbox's marketing isn't egregious to the point where they're not bullies with their marketing. You know what I mean? Most games that come to Xbox, they're coming to other, platforms. But the fact that their marketing was effective to make people believe that it's available on exclusively on Xbox is awesome. And I say that because the thing I criticize Xbox for is effective marketing. And that's the biggest thing. It's like, but with this metaphor thing is like, one, metaphor exists, so that means marketing is work, and it's coming to Xbox, so that is good marketing. That is a good marketing. Now, I haven't seen no commercials or anything for it, but I do see metaphor, in places, but that's good marketing. And I think metaphor is probably going to end up being some sort of like game of the year candidate. It might be the one that steals it. Not because I like it or anything. I tried playing the demo. I was like, man, this ain't for me, but I will try. But shout out to Microsoft for actually, effectively marketing the game. And I see some Call of Duty marketing taking place, and they're also marketing Call of Duty in Game Pass. So shout out to them. We'll see, if that, does good for them. We'll see if that's good for them, but shout out to the people, these the hardcore Xbox guys who are, canceling Game Pass, you know what I mean? And, converting all the way to, PlayStation and buying all their games on PlayStation because PlayStation's been their enjoyment for 4+ years and all this other stuff. You know what I mean? More power to you. Enjoy video games. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but ain't nothing going to stop me from enjoying a good deal. I'm sorry, man. I got kids and responsibilities. I'm not going to pay $70 per game if I don't have to. I will find a deal. I will look for a deal. Doesn't hurt. And Game Pass right now, as of today, still remains a deal. So yes, I will be playing Call of Duty in Xbox Game Pass. Yes, I will be playing Indiana Jones in Xbox Game Pass. I don't care if it's PS5 Pro Enhanced. You know what I mean? I'm playing it in the Game Pass. It's going to run at 60 FPS regardless. You know what I mean? I've always said ray tracing hasn't done shit for me in video games yet. Not yet. Sure, it looks nice, but for my PC, I can't do decent ray tracing until I upgrade, at least at a performance that I want. And it hasn't made to me the biggest, difference. So I'm not like, so Indiana Jones, I'll be playing on Xbox. When Doom comes out, Eternal, that comes out day and date for PlayStation. Of course, is going to be PS5 Pro Enhanced. I will be playing that on Xbox. So, because that's where it's going to be the most accessible to me. You know what I mean? I don't think until there's like, a game that presents itself as a, can't miss difference. You know what I mean? The only games I will be consuming on PlayStation, again, are games that just aren't available on Xbox, or games that aren't available on Xbox and PC. So those come first to PlayStation sort of experiences, or games that I just feel are appropriate for just this platform. You ever play a game where it's like, I can only play this on, like, I only feel comfortable playing this on this device. Like, for example, there's like games, right, that I downloaded on Game Pass that I won't play on the Xbox. It's like, nah, I gotta play that on the Rogue Ally. I want, like, this is appropriate for the Rogue Ally. Like, it's not appropriate for me to play on Xbox. It's not appropriate for me to play on PC. Like, I mean, there's games like that, like freaking, Astrobot. Like, I eventually got to get that game, and that's appropriate for PlayStation, right? Oh no, don't tell me. Let me know if I'm still alive, guys. Something triggered, but now I think we're gonna I'm gonna switch into some questions, because I've been rambling. I haven't been looking at the chat too much. Only the colors was able to see, because when the colors come through, they're easier to see. You know what I mean? So now I kind of got my bars off. I'm ready to see what people got to say in the chat. So, all right. Blessed Red says, Smooth, what do you think happens if COD doesn't meet MS their expectations in Game Pass? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I stopped paying attention to stuff like that. I really don't know. I mean, no, does Microsoft close up Xbox? I mean, who freaking knows? I don't think Microsoft can put all their baskets in a Game Pass, right? With a machine like Call of Duty essentially has two jobs to do being on Xbox. It has to still be the best-selling game of the year. It has to achieve that, which it probably will. And then it also has to be the highest growth, the major growth of Game Pass. But while doing that, this is, I don't know, there should be geniuses working at Microsoft, but who knows? But so you assume, okay, we're not going to convert PlayStation people because they just love PlayStation, and then you got people who are obviously upgrading to PS5 Pro, whatever. Max out your sales there. Eventually, what's going to happen is you probably will consume majority of the Xbox guys who still buy Call of Duty, maybe, but you would think they're probably also at this point they play on Xbox Live. They subscribe to some Game Pass tier, right? So you'll get them to upgrade. I think what happens is increase PlayStation sales, increase Game Pass growth, decrease Xbox unit sales, and there will be and then there's probably going to be increased Game Pass usage on PC possibly. I don't know. It's weird because Call of Duty got two jobs to do. It has to maintain the status as the best-selling game, and it also has to increase Game Pass subscriptions. I don't know. Looks like Xbox needs to sell more consoles because it can only sell. People forget Game Pass subscribers can really only subscribe two ways: a console or a PC. They got to sell some consoles. Hopefully that answers the question. Let's see. You're still alive. Let me see. There was a comment I saw here. I think somebody made a comment about the 2 terabyte Xbox Series X for like $600. I'm not buying that. I have no need for the 2 terabyte Series X. I have an Xbox Series X, and I also have like the 1 terabyte expansion. I think you can get up to like I think is it 2 terabytes? I gotta see. I haven't checked the cost on those lately, but I have no need to get that. I don't like custom Xboxes like that, and please, like I've had custom Xbox before. They've done like cool designs, but we got to go back to like literally Xbox One or Xbox 360, where the best designs of the consoles came. But the 2 terabyte one is just like literally, it's like black and green. It's like it's very specific, right? The Galaxy, I think, and then you got the white terabyte all digital. It's fine. I don't mind that, but I have no reason to upgrade or trade my Series X or to buy another Series X. That it serves literally no purpose in me doing that. So I don't really acknowledge its existence. It doesn't do anything, for me or anyone. You know what I mean? That's just another option for people who probably hasn't bought into an Xbox yet. There's an option that's there, and some people will buy it. We'll see if it increases sales. I think they're I don't know when those consoles release. That's what it was. I was in the middle of watching the unboxing. I don't even think I finished that. I think I fell asleep, dude. Of the digital. I gotta look up some of these unboxings. Sometimes when I see an unboxing, it makes me, interested in acquiring some of them. Oh my god. So I guess people are arguing about I guess Concord versus Xbox games. I'm seeing this symbol. What's the Aaron, explain, what's the cigarette and chicken symbol? Smoke scared or smoke chicken smoke what? J Bar, he says, if Xbox did an Xbox Series X Pro for $750 to $800, would you buy one? The people want to know, brother. Yeah, I said this when the PS5 Pro was revealed to be $700. I said, if the Xbox, because I'm an Xbox gamer, that's what I said. If I was a PlayStation gamer, a primarily PlayStation gamer, the PS5 Pro would be a no-brainer. But because I'm not, it's not a no-brainer because I barely use it. I was like, that's why for me to even consider it, I have to find other means to get it. Now, the Xbox Series X, if it's doing obviously the same thing, let's say there was an Xbox Series X Pro that exists, you know, with the same promises, whatever, it would be a automatic yes for me because I'm in the ecosystem. I'm always playing. Sure, I would have something to say about the pricing, but because I'm in the ecosystem, I play the games. I play on a platform. I'm heavily invested. I would actually buy it. You know, I would buy it. I mean, I would still have. The thing is now, what would happen if they existed? I wouldn't buy both the PS5 Pro and the Series X Pro. At this point, I would, because $750, $800 is still a lot of money. I wouldn't do this thing where I'm buying it out of pocket just to collect another Xbox. Nah, I would be trading some stuff in. In this case, I would end up trading in a Series X and probably the PlayStation again, along with a few other things to help decrease the cost. Exactly what I did to get the Series X. I think I traded in my Xbox One X and a few other things to help mitigate the cost. Did I sell it or did I trade it in? I feel like I sold it. 'Cause I think by the time I had the Series X in hand, I don't even think I had consoles on me, bro. Yeah. I think I sold my PlayStation 4 Pro like maybe a week or two before the PlayStation 5 pre-order. I remember I had, because after I went a window without last-gen consoles, I might have kept like one Xbox. We'll see. But no, absolutely. You know, I'm a complete hypocrite with stuff like this. Like, if the Xbox was literally doing one, I would buy it because, like I said, it's less of a it's less to tell me for PlayStation. They have to convince me because I don't primarily play on PlayStation, right? On Xbox, I primarily play on Xbox. So if it was doing the same thing, I would do it because I'm an enthusiast. You know what I mean? So I'm not telling anybody not to buy the PS5 Pro, but if you look at when the PS5 Pro was revealed in the price, even though I have my criticism of it, I literally say, dude, if Xbox was doing this, I'd probably buy it, more than likely buy it with no hesitation, because I'm invested in Xbox. I'm not as invested in PlayStation, so that's why it doesn't make any sense for me to do it for PlayStation 5 Pro, unless, you know, it makes its way available to me. But for Xbox, no brainer. Now, these other Xboxes that are coming out, like the digital and the Galaxy, no, it doesn't make any sense because there's no upsell. You know, there's no upsell for me. So I hope I answered your question, Jay Barry. Barbecue sauce, good. Barbecue sauce. Is it you? Who is asking me to upload the song Valentine? I will upload that tomorrow because I don't know the next time I'm gonna do a video, but I will do it. I just gotta put in the title by request. I forget who asked me to do it, but you're probably in this chat, man. I will upload it tomorrow. Oh man. Phil Spencer loved PS5 Pro. Yeah, this is the harder reality of the PlayStation 5 Pro and Xbox not having the equivalent. And this is where Xbox, because they pivoted to this decision, if Xbox didn't pivot to start releasing games on PlayStation, it wouldn't matter that a PS5 Pro exists, because at the end of the day, they would have the games and they could showcase that. They wouldn't have to worry about that. But because they're doing that, they got to become almost platform agnostic as possible and just, you know, embrace that. Hey, you know, but in this case though, you, as an Xbox developer, you know, I would hope they prioritize Xbox development first, PC. Do whatever, do whatever on the PS5, support the Pro, whatever. But, you know, just release a game that's just, you know, really optimized, extremely optimized, you know? Are you getting Silent Hill 2? Mo Mongoose Dog. Mongoose Dog says, "Are you getting Silent Hill 2 smooth and Aaron?" I this is not a day one game for me. Like I said, I tried to get it through like review access, but my channel's been light, so they've been checking those numbers. It's like nah. So as not a natural fan of Silent Hill, I have no reason to get it immediately. I said if I do get it, 1 or 2 rate, it depends what happens, right? I don't think I'm getting it immediately. If I get it immediately, I'll get it on PC. If I get it later down the line, it'll be on PlayStation because I think I'll have the PS5 Pro by that time, and let's see how big of a difference it is. So we will see. Reason why I'm interested in Silent Hill, I got respect for Bluebird. I like the medium. I'm interested because there's other means of getting through the game outside of a use of a gun. You know what I mean? If I could bash my way through the game, it gives me, because I don't like horror games where like they start limiting ammo. Like if your primary ways to get through the game, you need some sort of gun. Like Resident Evil, I feel like you need a gun, but there's like you could run short on ammo. I like games like Condemned, right, where I barely had to use a gun. I just like, you know what I mean? I used whatever weapon I had and just play. I like their dodge mechanics. Same thing with the Callisto Protocol. You know, you had your little pipe or taser stick, whatever it was. You know, obviously guns definitely helpful. They came useful, but you can get majority through the game, with the exception of a few bosses or a few creatures. You get through the game with just that melee weapon. I love that. I really like the Callisto Protocol. I'm kind of trying to figure out why that game got heat. What was wrong with it? But I really like that game. Yeah. I saw the performance for Silent Hill, and yeah, the game looks good. The performance mode, like I said, is very shaky, and that's why people are like, hey, you know, this is why we need mid-gen refreshes. No, this is why you need optimization. The quality mode looks good, but you know, that's also running at under 30 frames per second though. So people, no. And but man, let your questions be known. Let your questions be known. I will answer them. I'm going to probably strike out, get out of here in about 3 to 5 minutes. I only was going to go for an hour. I think I covered all the bases that I want. But yeah, man, it's just very sad to see that there was somebody on Twitter asked a question, or on X, they said, is there any Xbox fans like left? And it seems that they're all gone. You know what I mean? They're all like ever since I know Diller like went away from like YouTube, so the RDX crew's been gone. D is on this he went from an Xbox guy to a PC guy to a PlayStation guy, Mag PlayStation guy. All these people are, I don't know, there's like, I don't know, man. It's again, I think it's boring. I really do think it's boring when everybody has sheep mentality. This is what happens when you don't enjoy games for games. So this is where I give it people. This is where I say shout out to Jay Bari, and even though I disagree with a lot with some of the Persona takes, but they're very, Jay Bari and Persona are very game oriented. You know what I mean? Obviously, their platform of choice is PlayStation, but they're very game oriented, and that's where the content and quality is. Platform oriented, like I said, you can only go as far as the platform goes. So if the platform fails, you're forced to I guess trade in your your genre, your preference card. You know, you got to switch, you got to pivot, go to something different. You know, and I could talk games with the best of them. You know what I mean? But because I feel like a diverse taste in video games overall. Some hoodlums outside my window. Let's see what's going on here. My bad. Yep. Scarves, scullies, hoodies. Okay, let's go. But yeah, they game oriented. Like I said, if you're game oriented or completely tech oriented, like in a gaming space, as far as your content creation, I think you have something to provide and something to produce. Platform oriented, like, you know, Xbox based podcast, and I'm including myself. You know what I mean? I'm including myself. This is yeah, like Xbox based, like play or console war based. We're on borrowed time for content creation because the industry is going away in a different, you know, direction, and it's going to just be completely irrelevant. So you're going to have to keep, you know, flip flopping, going back and forth. We're going to find a lane and stay in it. So me personally, you know what I mean? No, again, there's no switching. You know, I still love playing on Xbox. But the thing is, though, I like video games. I just like to play those video games on Xbox, you know? So that's why it's like I'm not gonna waste, you know, the energy of, like, you know, changing my personality, my online personality, to just be default, so I don't be in, like, the what they call it. It's not fair missing out at this point. It's just the in crowd, that lunchroom table talk, but the bandwagon's full, but you can try to run behind it. That's pretty much what's happening. And that's why a lot of these Xbox guys are like total freaking clowns. Unfortunately, they just look like clowns to me. No respect. And not because they're just, because they changed their preferred platform. Don't care about that. It's because they're in an identity crisis and they're just not reliable people for source of information, not reliable for reviews, not reliable for information, and not, I can't go to these people to hear about things related to games or platforms, anything anymore, because they're compromised, very compromised. That they sick and tired of Phil Spencer. Yo, Phil Spencer's gonna retire soon. And what we're about to get is we're about to head strictly into the Sarah Bond era. My thing is, if you are a gamer, right? The thing is that all Xboxes is just an optional box to play on, bro. Like, you know what I mean? There's a PlayStation, there's an Xbox, there's Nintendo, whatever. And this sucks coming from me, but what Xbox is doing, yes, it sucks from the perspective that we're all used to, right? But if every game was everywhere truly, you know what I mean? What would people do? What would really people do? They just have to be forced to talk about games, which is not a problem. I'm at the point where, like, I wish, all games were everywhere, so I can only have to have, one device to play whatever game, I want. It's just to have a freaking preference. So, and that's that. But I'm gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the share button. I will be live again probably next Saturday. Find like an hour to do to go live on Saturdays. But you guys have a wonderful day. Shout out to Jay Bari, man. Thanks for the super chats and the conversations. And I will see you guys on Weapon Wheel tomorrow. You guys will, if you're subscribed to the Weapon Wheel Patreon, playing Xbox, it's there, and so on, so on. As always, Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We are out of here. Peace.